Hey, how's everybody doing? Yeah. Let's do a little exercise before we get started. Raise your hand up. Keep it up. And now, think of your grandparents. Keep it up only if your grandparents had more than one job in their lives. 2 jobs? 3 jobs, okay. Now put it up again. Think about your parents. Keep it up if they had more than one job. 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Who's here in the working class? Put your hand up. Did you have more than one job in your life? 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs? Yeah, you get the idea. You get the idea. So that's actually what is happening. The number of jobs is shifting exponentially from generation to generation. I'm no exception to this. I'm 31 right now. And I've done a couple of things now. I do management consulting, I run a digital agency with a friend, and I teach people how to code. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about the driving forces that are generating this, and how to actually deal with this new reality. So what is driving this is pretty much technology. If you look at how technology has developed and the accumulated effect of it across society, it has completely redefined how we see talent, generation after generation. Now, but if we go back to the steam engine, that lasted for around 3 generations. It completely changed the world. It kicked off the revolution, the industrial revolution, and then for 3 generations people were living like that. And then that created a platform for electricity and the other engine, the combustion engine, to come up. And then in the 1950s we see telephone and TV, and then craziness happens. In just one lifetime we get 4 crazy technologies that are completely disrupting how we see life, and it's happening in just one life. And each of these technologies is building as a platform for the next one. And as this happens, there's a new demand for new niche skills that are even more elevated, that force you to learn and adapt. And that is crazy. So we, as a generation, we have a little bit of a challenge, because the mind map, the mental model that we have inherited is, well, my life is pretty predictable. I am born, I'm taken into the world, I just go to university, I learn, then I take my career, I scale my career, I am doing as much money as I can, so then I can retire and hopefully die until the next generation takes over, right? But it doesn't really happen like that for us. Like, if we look at our generation, we need to deal with this. Yeah, we're born into the world, we need to learn, but then we're gonna be ebbing and flowing all the time, moving across, hopping across jobs, trying to think about where do we go next, what is my passion now, what do I do now, what do I actually want to do I want to take a year off? I'm just ebbing and flowing, and I'm contributing, I'm learning, contributing, I'm learning, learning goes back to the previous talk. Learning is really important. So what to do with this, right? Because it can be it creates a little bit of anxiety, at least for me it creates a little bit of anxiety. The first thing is mindset for me. We need to get away of the pain mindset, which is, well, there's this single passion that I need to have, and I need to take on challenges, and there's just one thing that I need to do. There's just this question is, what do I want to do when we grow up? We need to forget that question. We're limiting our own potential with that. And we need to forget about this career ladder that we need to do better and better at every time. I think it's way healthier to think about, hey, what, at this point in my life, what stimulates my energy and curiosity? What am I willing to learn? It's okay to fail if I try something on and it doesn't work. And I prefer to see careers as a jungle gym, where you're a kid, you're there, you're experimenting, you're learning, now you want to go to this station that is really tough, now you want to take it easy, and that's absolutely fine, because in the previous mindset, in the pain mindset, everything's masterminded. You can only fail, and you're supposed to be in the range of what you're doing. But could you actually predict that you would be doing what you're doing today? Probably not. I could not predict it, and that's fine. So that's from a mindset point of view, but what you actually do about it, what has really helped me is these 4 things. First one is, we were saying in the previous talk, be a master of your own learning. You need to be very good at learning new skills. It's absolutely mandatory. And now my clients, when I think about the job that they give me, they're testing me on my learning agility. They're not testing me on my expertise. They give me stuff that I don't know how to do. It's really important to build skills that transfer. And that's why I think coding or data science have become so popular, because they're technical skills, they're technical, they apply to such a broad range of things. But so, the same happens with people skills. Empathy, super important. Active listening. Being able to engage with people. Same happens with humanistic skills. Interviewing people. Being able to write decently. Synthesize ideas, it's super important. Double down on tech savvy. Like the future of technology is not on functions that are sitting in an organization. It's going to cut across. everything is getting infused by technology, from really new jobs like UX or data science to really old jobs like medicine, law, or even prostitution, if you will. And for me, the last thing is like, this is creating huge feedback loops one after the other, right? And jobs are becoming more and more multidisciplinary. The future is to become T-shaped, which means that you're really strong maybe on a couple of two verticals, but you can really intersect, connect, and ask good questions and create good processes with people that are competent in other things that you're not, but you can understand them. So those are my tips. As you can say, I have a lot to say about this topic. So if you want to stay connected and you cannot talk to me in the break, or I cannot talk to you in the break, just ping me. And thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Hi.
Great talk. Do you think that with AI, we'll be at risk that we won't be able to catch up in the future as humans? I guess you get this question a lot.
I get that question a lot, and I usually reflect the question back to you. Could you have predicted that the internet would bring a new wave of terrorism? Who could have predicted that? Nobody. Nobody. The AI, we're basically playing God. We're transferring responsibility from institutions, like now, well, do you care about where your hamburger comes from? You don't really ask. The same, right? Do you care where that ad comes from? We don't ask. So it's a new kind of superpower. We cannot predict it. I personally, my optimistic belief is that there will be a lot of work that will be automated, and the real interesting stuff, we will be paid for doing real thinking. But, who can predict that, right?
I love the P model. I mean, I have a P model for myself, but then I think the problem with the P model is it kind of works out for extroverts in general. And I also feel that when I fit myself to a T model, I'm trying to be a jack of all and not exactly a master of one thing. So then this question of craftsmanship versus a person who juggles many things comes into my picture. Like, I think, yeah, I can do many things, but then am I a master in one? And what happens to the whole art of craftsmanship? So those Japanese people who make the katana sword, a 70-year-old master who makes the best katana sword, and he did that forever through his life.
Who buys katanas today?
Yeah, but then should we get rid of that?
Exactly. Like, I think the whole idea of craftsmanship, it's a much more volatile concept. Because things that you need to become good, really, really just insanely good before, like watchmaking, maybe back in the day it was worth to spend 25 years in doing that. Now, it's okay to just be competent because there will be this next thing. And that's what I go into building skills that transfer, that maybe doing katanas is not the thing, but having an engineering mindset can be really, really helpful. And that's where I think that the T is not on something particularly narrow, but in a wide domain that can solve still a wider range of problems. That would be my answer, though. Hi.
I was reading an article on Economist on the next jobs that will disappear. And the statistic was that bankers, insurance, and these kind of people will disappear because they have a very specific specialization in a field. And they put in the last place as the last job that will disappear, the archaeologist. Because the skills that a machine learning could learn, there are too many. You must climb, recognize rocks, and so on. So they say that the access to specialization in our fields make us more easy to replace by an artificial intelligence. I mean, I am also working in artificial intelligence. So
Oh, very good.
that's what's your point on that?
What would be the question? What is replaceable and what is not replaceable?
What is, in your opinion, you think that technology jobs are more easy to replace instead of jobs that have something to do with more primitive skills of the man?
I think it really depends. If you talk about retail, I think that it's very easy to disrupt, but then you also need to consider what are cultural beliefs and traits. So is bartending going to disappear? It could be done by a machine, but at the end of the day, you want somebody to talk to you and order your food. So, and you can probably argue that things that have existed until now, it will take at least half the time for them to disappear completely from the face of the world. Completely. But at the same time, you could see that many jobs in the knowledge economy that are driven by business and a P&L, they have a much stronger stimulus to get automated. Even stuff like medicine, which you would say, well, who's going to substitute a physician? Like now, there's AI-powered diagnostics that are starting to not replace, but change significantly what a physician does and the output of it. Like maybe now a physician can be much more accurate with diagnostics, just one of it instead of a team, which is kind of transforming. Hi.
Just as a continuation of the question or of your answer, there is a paradox known in technology that the easiest things that we can do as people are the hardest things to automate. The things that we do automatically without thinking about them, we cannot put them that easily in an algorithm. It's like if you remember the Boston Robotics videos of the robot opening a door, it's for us a very easy task, but to think how to make a robot do this is very difficult because we cannot know how we ourselves do it. And maybe like it's somehow gives some answer to the question. The hardest things to automate are the easiest things that we do as people also.
True. Very true. I think my facilitator is telling me to get out of here. But thank you very much for your time.